Hi, and now paint me like one of your French models.
Are you ready?
Stop. This is not how you cure your back or neck pain. However, there is something else very cool about Maidesite desks. So let's talk about them. Hey guys, I really like this pattern, but before we talk about the desk and why motorized desks aren't actually this bad of an idea as you think, let's talk about why I've got one and why I think you could probably use one too. Despite the popular belief, I am not as young as you may think. I'm hitting 40 this year, which means some extreme sports are defined in a different manner. For example, now sitting down on the sofa, it's classed as an extreme sport, and well, I ended up with a whiplash a couple of times, and turning your head around quickly might give you a neck pain as well. And if you are in your early 30s, you might laugh at this, but just wait. You're going to be sitting here at the motorized desk complaining about the same thing. But the most important thing that happened in my life happened around 2 years ago. I damaged my back, and I did that by jumping up and down. And yes, I fully realized that was the final nail into that coffin of my back pain, but I did end up with 18 months of chronic pain, which was, well, painful and not pleasant. I had a course of physiotherapy that didn't help, and only until I got the injections in my spine the problem had been partially resolved, to which I've been asked to look after my back a little bit better and support it well. Granted, I spend a lot of time near the desk, whether I'm writing articles, processing spreadsheets at work, but I do take regular breaks. And there are two most crucial equipment at your disposal. The more important one is obviously a chair. A nicely, finely tuned chair designed to your purpose. This is actually quite expensive. It's around £1,000 chair, which I nicked from my previous work. Shh, don't tell my boss. So it's tailored exactly to my posture. However, there is a second part of this puzzle: desks. If you find a comfortable posture on the chair that suits your back and all the angles, and you're suddenly feeling like, well, it's really pleasant to sit, the worst thing that you can do to yourself is actually adjust the chair to fit your table. Because at this point, you are actively, well, destroying all the adjustments that you just done to make your back straight, to sit comfortable, and to be productive for the hours to come. So the moment you have to lower your chair to fit underneath the desk, well, you're in trouble. That's better. Now, okay, you're not in trouble because if you're going to do it and sit there for 8 hours, that's not a big deal. However, if you're going to repeat the same thing over the course of 365 days for the next 12 years, you might find yourself sitting in my position with a back pain. So while motorized desks are not going to fix your immediate problems, they are part of the solution to actually prevent you from having neck problems, back problems, and fatigue. And I know what you're thinking, that's a bit excessive, because if you get your desk quite the right size, then you don't really need a motorized desk. And I've made one tailored to myself, and it was significantly cheaper to make, but it took me a couple of days of my time, and that's definitely worth the money. So when you're getting a motorized chair, you're getting following advantages. First, and the biggest advantage is that you can tailor the desk height to your chair, and this cannot be overstated. Now, obviously, the part of appeal is the fact that you can just simply stand up, rest a bit, and continue your work like this. Where was I? I was adjusting the frame. Unfortunately, the camera couldn't go up with me. But yeah, that's fine. You'll get instant relief of your back because you're gonna be in a different position. And that is very healthy. But truth be told, after sitting for a couple of hours, I could dream of nothing else than actually laying down on the sofa. Switching these positions, it's a good habit to have, because you should really take a short break, about 5 minutes every hour, just to keep yourself active, to keep the blood circulating, and generally do yourself a big favor. And having a motorized desk will help you with that in various different ways. Now, another reason to get a motorized desk if you hot swap the desks, because you'll be able to adjust the height of the desk to your preference, save it in the memory, and then quickly switch to the preferred adjustments on the fly, so you could work productively without suffering from inconvenience issues caused by bad position. Now that you know why, let's talk about the Maidesite desk in details and what you're actually getting. So desks come with a couple of different sizes. However, first thing that I've noticed that this beautiful finish, by the way, this is a veneer finish. It's a chipboard with a nice veneer. It's not available on all sizes. It's something I hope to change, but the desk itself is pretty impressive, big, and that is the medium size. So you can get much bigger if you prefer the desk in black or white. Now this is a part of the Pro series, which is much stronger. It comes with dual motors, which means it will be able to hoist me up and down without any problem. And I am a heavy guy, with a upper limit being 120 kilos. So no matter what kind of monitors and computers you have on your desk, you shouldn't have any problems. Now the assembly was relatively simple. As everything has been sent to me in post, I was worried slightly about the desk surface not being scratched or damaged in transport. Fortunately, Maidesite makes sure that everything is wrapped carefully. Just bear in mind that the actual legs for my model, they were very heavy, and it's preferably a two-person's lift. I mean, you don't want to do your back in while carrying a box with a desk that's supposed to aid your back, right? So go and ask someone for your help. The tools included were, well, not brilliant. So if you want to speed up the assembly time, get your own preferred tools, for example, like this Vera tool check here, and you'll be able to speed up assembly a little bit, but you're looking at 30 to 40 minutes for total assembly and taking this desk off the ground. The instructions provided are super clear, and apart from me being silly once and reorienting the part all the way around, I had no bigger issues. One of the things I could really mention is that supporting bars connecting two different legs could have more distinctions, because instruction simply says to orient it in a specific way according to bar thickness, and the thickness difference is really small. Other than that, within 40 minutes I was ready to go and test this desk, which frankly speaking looks nicely, and you're going to definitely see the surface in my B-rolls because I have some plans for this baby. When you are done, you have a choice of deciding whether you want to go with stationary feet, the ones that's going to be providing you with a nice grip and prevent the desk from sliding, or wheels, caster wheels that you can apply and then move the desk around. Because I'm going to move the desk around, I've added the caster wheels instead, and that is my preferred options right now. I've made some other improvements to which I'm going to talk in a moment. Now the most interesting bit obviously is the control unit of the desk itself, which is located either on your left or right, because Maidesite allows you to add this unit on both sides. The desk surface also features a cable management route, but it doesn't have anything specific to manage cables, which is a bit of a shame. One of the interesting bits about the controller unit that is coming with a USB-A plug, so you can plug your phone and start charging. Don't get excited though, it's only 0.8 amps, which boggles my mind because they could use USB Type-C, they have the power delivery in there, and since they're feeding mains to the motors anyway, it feels like not the perfect solution. I gave them that feedback straight away and they said to me that the new controller is in the works and it will feature USB Type-C sockets, so yay. I solved that problem in a different way, which we're going to be talking about it near the end of the video. The controller itself, it's quite nice. It has a touch display, which means you'll have to look at it to adjust the desk, but it comes with a real value in centimeters from the floor that you can calibrate depending on which feet are you using. That way it provides you pretty accurate height of the desk from the floor itself. This comes really handy if you max out on the top memory slots for different positions, and if you still want to, set the desk to prefer the position, you can just manually jog it to the centimeters height from the floor and you'll be grand. Personally, I think I would prefer buttons because that way you can adjust the desk position without looking, but realistically speaking, how often are we going to be doing this? Probably once a day. I'm okay just having a quick glance, adjusting the desk and just moving on with my work. That's not a problem. Another handy inclusion is the inclusion of timers, which you can directly set via controller unit, and they will vibrate when the time is due. Those can be set to half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours installments, and that will help you to, change the position, move to a standing position, and actually take breaks when needed, something that is quite often a bane to remember. I know for a fact, despite having my notifications on the watch, I tend to ignore them, especially that my watch is set in Do Not Disturb mode when I'm trying to focus on my work. So having a, well, almost a mechanical way of notifying you that it's time to take a break, it could be quite beneficial. These timers won't make the desk move, so you don't have to be worried that something's gonna get crushed. Besides that, this unit comes with a crash detection. So if the desk discovers that it just ran into itself or someone else's knees, instead of crashing them, it will simply stop, which is a nice touch. Overall, I found the desk to be quite sturdy. It doesn't sag. It does wobble a little bit when you're using casters, but if you're using stationary legs, you should have much better experience. One of the things that I also should mention is that the cable management underneath it, it's good for all the motorized part, but you don't really have much space to put anything else. And this is where we can talk about the upgrades that I decided to do to this chair. And maybe upgrades is a posh word of what I did, but I went with it anyway. So I felt that the next thing that you really want to do when having a desk is the pass-through for the power. And obviously that means extension lead being mounted underneath the desk so I could plug in anything I want. And to accommodate that, I picked one with a lot of different USB charger points and USB Type-C charging, which I could route through the management hall and charge my devices like this, which is very convenient. Unfortunately, my choice of extension lead ended up with the one that doesn't have any mounting features, but I promptly took it apart and drilled a couple of mounting holes, and that fits just fine. One of the things that I could probably arrange in an easier way, but not necessarily a better way, was the power delivery to the desk and to my extension lead. Now, I went with an option of a splitter, so I did split the C7, which is called C7 plug for those 2-pin plugs, into IEC for my extension lead and the original motor power supply. Now that left me with a really nice and elegant solution, and I get the dedicated IEC cable that connects to the desk, and I've swapped a connector on my extension lead, cut it to size and make it neat, so that way I only have a one plug, and it's actually looking quite good, and I have a good rating of power supply that it's being split between the supply to the motor and extension lead. So guys, here's the thing. If you are spending a lot of hours at the desk, whether you're gaming, working, or just doing random projects, look after your back. Get a decent chair and get a matching desk, because your back will gonna thank you, and spending £299 now could be a best investment into your health in the future. When it comes to back problems, unfortunately, this is not going to fix your back problems, but you can very well prevent it. So big thanks to Maidesite for sending me this, so I no longer have to struggle with my back. And if you have any questions, just point them into a question section, comment section down below in the video, and I'm definitely gonna read those. As for now, you know that I don't have any schedule, so if you want to know what's next, follow me on social media, probably listed down below right now, and get the conversation going. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'm going to see you in the next video with a really appropriate posture. Now, let's do some work. Yes, I'm fake typing. I'm totally fake typing. Does it work? Okay, let's go now. Bye.